There was an old man, bitter and cold. He lived in the woods in a shack all alone. He was mean and hateful and ornery to boot. Most would say he wasn't worth the bullet to shoot. But one day a stranger appeared on the scene, and that he was unwelcomed, well, that was plain to be seen. "Just who are you?" the old man demanded, but the stranger just stood there, and then slowly he handed the old man an object wrapped in a cloth, and inside it he found a small wooden cross. It was carved and pretty. It must have took a long time. The old man just nodded and said, "Yeah, this is mine. I made that a long time ago when my life was on a much different road. But it came to the point where it didn't make sense to carry it around and all the mess I was in. So one day I tossed it and I figured it lost. After all, there's not much use for an old rugged cross." The stranger then spoke in a voice soft and low and said, "It's got a lot more uses than you would ever know. Some people have used it to stand on as a pillar of strength, while others have used it to cling to on life's stormy seas. But mostly it's been a light that leads safely home the lost, and the price it has paid has been worth so much more than the cost." The old man just stood there and stared, then said, "Why, it can't do all of that. It's just two pieces of wood nailed together, front and back." The stranger smiled. "You're right. The wood, well, that's not where it's at. It's the power of the blood on the cross. Tell me, do you know about that?" "Yeah, I know the story and how it's supposed to go, but I don't think there's anything to it. It's just some old story, you know. I don't think someone really died. Why would anyone let themselves be crucified?" The stranger just stood there and then held out his hands and said, "Love can do strange things to a man." When the old man looked down at his upturned palms, well, he knew right away the story wasn't wrong. For there in the center of each hand was placed a scar that was from a deeply driven stake. You see, I know what the cross was about, and it was for all of mankind that my blood was spilled out, and I don't want anyone left out. I want you to know what the cross was about." The old man just stood there and he kind of stared at the ground, but then the stranger was gone and nowhere to be found. But there at his feet lay that small wooden cross, the one he had said was